much for those who like to have an opportunity to share and speak my heart to you people. Things like food, like a lot of people do have food, so I eat. But hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for those who've liked, who subscribed, who watched, who shared. I really appreciate your support, guys. I'm really still learning a lot of things about YouTube, but it's still been good to have an opportunity to share and speak my heart to you people. So you've probably seen this is probably my 4th or 5th video now going. Yeah, I've been a bit slow on my startup. I do apologize. I guess I'm still trying to play around with what I'm doing. I'm just gonna go with my heart, and hopefully it's blessed. My videos are blessing, you know, in one way or another. So I wanted to have a heart-to-heart chat. So a lot of things have happened over the last couple of days, but the one thing I think for me that has really stuck out is actually sitting down to realize that I haven't been extremely responsible about my life. You see, I've grown up a rather very privileged person. I've grown up with a fairly well-off family. I've been educated in probably the best schools in the country, in my home country, and I have an opportunity to work and live in Australia, which is a blessing. But over the time as I grew up, I never really learned how to take responsibility for myself and for my actions. And not that I wasn't, but when it comes to making big decisions, I'll give you an example. My mom decided the high school I'll go to. I chose my subjects and stuff, but when it came to, I made a decision to come to Australia and all that jazz. But when it comes to making decisions like how am I going to spend my money, how am I going to do small little things like that, I still sometimes find it difficult. I'm like, what do I prioritize and what do I not? And the thing is, because I was so used to being done for things, even in high school, I was picked up from school, I went to school. And for those of you who come from Kenya, you know that being able to be picked up and dropped to school and picked up at the end of the term is not always a thing that everybody has. It's actually a privilege. I was blessed to have my family that was constantly on, taking care of me. If I was going to, to the salon to have my hair done, I'll always go with my cousins in the morning. They'll drop me off, and then I'll come back in the evening. There's a taxi there for me. Like, everything was sort of done for me. I never was ever put in a position where I had to jump out myself. And so when I moved from home to come to Australia, it was, yes, I made that decision myself, but it was such a big thing because I was so used to being told what to do. What am I going to cook? What are we going to eat tomorrow? Or where am I going to do? As in, outside of my normal school and work schedules, all those other details were hard to find. And some of you may be listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, well, whatever. But it's actually a real thing for me. Like, there are times even to date, I'll tell you, I'll come to the house and go like, oh my God, how am I going to spend my day? Like, how am I going to just sit down and do nothing? Because I was so used to being told that this is how your day starts, this is how your day ends, and this is how things happen. And I've grown up and matured, but there are times I still struggle with this. And I thought I'll talk about it because maybe someone out there who's grown up in an environment where everything was being done for them and they've never really learned that responsibility. I remember in high school, I struggled so much with hygiene. As in, seriously, I used to be, like, people always used to pick up on me because, my clothes are not always clean. Sometimes I would smell of urine or stuff like that. I know it's gothic details I'm sharing, but it's actually real. And I know that people who are out there who struggled with that. And my entire high school, I struggled with my image. And it made me neglect myself. I was not always clean. I was not always doing stuff. But towards the end of high school, I grew up and I grew out of it and I healed. And it took a lot of healing, internal healing of myself, because I was going through a lot of rejection. My mom was studying abroad and I was on my own, and it's not rejection from my mom. Please don't take it. My mom has done nothing wrong. But it's just, you're a teenager, you're young, you're wondering what the heck is happening, how comes I'm alone, and all that stuff. And I've constantly been bullied since I was a child because of my weight, and all that stuff. And growing up with all these mixed feelings, so I had to heal internally so that I can actually learn to take charge of myself and realize, like, You know, in life, sometimes we have this thing, and I don't know if it happens to you, but there are times I have sat and said it is God's responsibility. I'm a Christian by faith, but I always say, God, why did you let this happen? God, why did you let this happen? And a lot of the times I keep having to remind myself that I have free will, I have the power to choose, that I can actually make decisions, and God has given me that power to make decisions. And everyone has that will and that sense to make decisions, but I find it hard. I struggle to make choices. Like, I'll tell you, it takes me eternity it took me so long to decide to start YouTube. Even when I had the idea like 2 years ago, just because I thought, what will people think? I may not have many followers and all that jazz. And it took me eternity. Like, I just recently got a car, and God bless, I'm so happy I got a car. I can finally move around, and I'm still thinking I got the wrong car. Like, are you kidding me? For once, I made a decision, I got the car, and I walked in today to have the car registered, and I just couldn't, because I thought maybe I made the wrong choice. I should go buy another one. And in my head, was like, it was the last few minutes that I've had no queue, and now I have to go and queue tomorrow. And it was because I chose not to walk in. And it's simple things like that. You know, I don't have a problem with making decisions about some things, like food, because I like food. Like, a lot of people do like food, so I'll eat. But when it comes to should I buy this, should I buy that, I have struggled with small decisions, you know, really small decisions. And I remember when I made my choice to come back to Australia from Kenya, it was a really big thing for me, because I knew how much I had to struggle and restructure and go through things like that. But it's something I've learned and I've walked through it. And I just want to share this because there could be someone out there who finds it hard to just break camp and make that step forward and feel like, you know, they have the confidence and the challenge to make it. You know what? Make the decision and do it. If it's wrong, somehow things recalibrate themselves and you end up on the right way. You would rather make a wrong choice than no choice at all. Don't be afraid to step out. You know, one thing that always used to put me back from stepping out is because I was always afraid of what people say. And I'm like, people will talk. People will say, and sometimes things are not happening. You know, you ever walk to a place and you refuse to do something because somebody is looking at you? Or another one, sometimes when I'm going for jogging, I stop jogging when I see someone because I don't want them to see me running like a silly person. And it's happened so many times, like seriously, it's hilarious. But it's real. It's a real thing for me, and I wanted to share it because I want to encourage someone out there. Don't be scared. Don't stop being you. Don't stop being real. Don't stop making choices. Make those decisions. Ask for help. Ask for guidance if need be, but make those decisions and don't be scared. If you feel scared, remember there's a girl somewhere in the country who's done this video and she's probably struggling with similar issues as you are, and you can do it because I have, and you can make it. So God bless you. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Love you all.